Now joining us in the studio, disaster preparedness expert Dr. Mark Asperelia. He's a member of a disaster response group in the United States which deals with typhoons, hurricanes, and other calamities. Welcome to Hot Copy, Dr. Mark.
Nice to
Thank
meet
you for coming to the show. And I just want to say that you were conferred the Pamana ng Pilipino Award on Filipinos overseas, no?
Thank you.
All right, congratulations on that. Why is the Philippines disaster prone?
The reason why the Philippines is disaster prone is because we're in the ring of fire. The Pacific Ocean is like an incubator for big storms.
Okay.
There's what we call global warming. So it forms super typhoons, and we're like a big barrier island to Asia. And so the barrier island suffers the most, and 60% of the construction of homes in the Philippines are within the coastal area. So it's in the low-lying area, and we don't have zoning rules in here. We don't follow hurricane standards for housing, building housing. And also we also need to, we are not protecting the environment. That's why we have so many landslides. We're cutting the trees. So in essence, it's a fact of life that we are the top among the five disaster-prone area. The Philippines on the top in the whole world. So we need to professionalize our standards here. We need to professionalize the disaster response, invest money in disaster preparedness.
So one reason is absolutely just geographical in nature, but the other one is really our fault.
Yes.
Yeah, because we choose to build in areas near the ocean. We don't follow proper zoning. That's the problem.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Now, what do you suggest? You've seen that in the Philippines, I think more than 10 typhoons enter the country every year. What do you suggest for the Philippines to be more disaster prepared?
The suggestion I would have is we should train emergency responder at the barangay level.
Okay.
And then let them train basic medical CPR, basic delivery system, basic first aid.
Sa barangay?
Sa barangay level. We need regional stockpiling. In the United States, we have regional stockpiles. Na yun,
what do you mean regional stockpiling?
Like in the state of Florida, we have stockpiles. Nandun na yung mga first aids, yung mga
baka
food
dito
MREs.
nakawin yung first aid.
Yeah, but it's
yun ang mahirap.
Yeah, kailangan talaga we have to regionalize it para pag nandun na yung stockpile, hindi na i-deliver.
Tama.
Because we are 7,000 islands, hiwa-hiwala yan eh. We need to develop yung delivery system na more efficient, which is the helicopter. Pero I don't know what's economically feasible dito. Maybe we could write grants to get helicopters para i-deliver yun the most efficient way sa mga bagyo. Yung mga truck, they cannot deliver it. We need a helicopter fleet for both medical evacuation at saka kailangan pag-deliver ng mga first mga first responder, and of course yung mga pagkain and everything.
But at the very least, if you don't have the choppers, you have to pilot in advance.
Yeah, kaya mag-develop ng fleet dito, kamukha namin sa United States, may fleet. They tap yung mga National Guards, they tap yung mga US Army, US Navy. We use that.
Ang hirap naman to compare the Philippines to the US.
So I'm an outsider looking, looking inside. Kaya ibang mental Kaya we have to structure it na economically na feasible sa Pilipinas.
But then I just want to say that you were a hurricane disaster victim yourself.
Yes, in Florida.
In 2004.
So I feel for a hurricane victim. We have Hurricane Charlie, nasira yung office ko, and nasira yun. And I was able to know ako ang biktima, na ramdaman ko yung biktima ng hurricane, how the United States responded. And nakita ko yung mga strong points nila. Kaya siguro, being a victim myself, sensitized sa needs, that's why I developed my expertise sa disaster preparedness, being an infectious disease specialist, being a medical doctor.
So you also became a disaster preparedness expert.
Yes.
And a bioterrorism expert.
Yes, because I'm an infectious disease, I'm a bioterrorist expert sa United States.
You're infectious diseases?
Specialist.
Yeah. But then now you're a disaster expert after you being victimized.
Victimized, yeah.
What makes you a disaster expert? I mean, I'm curious, how does one become a disaster expert?
We have to take courses.
Okay.
I'm medically able to respond to disaster. I send medical teams. Even after Yolanda, I was sent a medical team here from the United States to help Bantayan Island.
Okay.
We responded down there, and then we did medical missions, and then we did first responders from the outside, sending medical teams to Bantayan Island. I was part of the group.
Yeah. Okay. On the line, you can comment on this, Dr. NDRRMC is with us, so we can find out exactly how disaster prepared is the Philippines as our topic goes. Spokesperson Romina Marasigan is with us on the line. Romina, good morning.
Good morning, Ms. Karen.
Okay, what are the numbers so far in terms of NDRRMC? What is the official death toll?
So far, we have already placed in our confirmed and verified reports that will be 2 deaths related to Typhoon Ruby. This is due to hypothermia from the province of Iloilo.
Okay, may nagtanong, which is very interesting on Twitter. How can anyone die of hypothermia in the Philippines?
Ang ano po nito kasi po, number one, I think they were already sick already when they went to the evacuation centers.
Okay.
So very weak na po yung condition nila, and then given po that there is strong winds at tuloy-tuloy po yung pag-ulan na naranasan nila, nilalamig na po ito, din siguro may high fever na po sila, kaya po siguro nagkaroon ganun po ang kanilang condition.
Okay. Now, Dr. Mar Lagmay said a UN official commented that this is the largest evacuation they've seen since peacetime. NDRRMC reports, do you feel there was a successful evacuation?
So far po, sa mga nakita naman pa natin, this is successful. Una po, because yung time po na we gave the warning that there would be that this typhoon would be low pressure area pa lamang po una nakita, and then it became a strong typhoon. There were a lot of families who voluntarily left their homes and went to evacuation centers. I guess that's one of the best things na nakita natin doon, having learned from Yolanda. Initially po sila na po, wala pa pong call ng evacuation ng local government, voluntarily po nag-evacuate na po ang mga families doon.
Okay. What is NDRRMC concentrating right now, considering Ruby is on its way to Mindoro?
Right now, we are preparing Metro Manila, because tonight it will hit landfall in northern Mindoro around 6 to 8 p.m. And high tide will be around 10:45 in the evening. So because of this typhoon, it may bring a massive flooding, especially in the coastal areas in Manila, Malabon, and Navotas. So we are concentrating evacuating people there right now. We will be coordinating again with MMDA as the Metro Manila DRM Council Chair, and we are also looking into following up the operations in the other areas which were hit by the typhoon.
Now, DSWD has said that they were having a hard time delivering relief goods. I think that was yesterday. An interview with DSWD Secretary Dinky Soliman. Is it still the same problem today?
Right now, we are already conducting clearing operations in several areas. DPWH reported to us there are several road sections which were blocked because of toppled trees, uprooted trees, and toppled electric posts. But this time we're already proceeding with the clearing operations to give way to relief operations in the hit areas.
Okay. On that note, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much, Ms. Karen, and good morning.
All right. Now, Dr. Mark, hearing the NDRRMC, we have an official death toll of 2. There's an estimate that it's 8, but the official death toll is 2. Clearing operations are being conducted. How would you rate so far how the government has responded?
I think the government has responded from the lessons learned in Yolanda. And they're more prepared this time. Evacuation is one of the key sa survival ng mga ano. If you bring them up from a low-level coastal area to a high-level na mga strong evacuation center, yun ang biggest solution to minimize the fatalities.
Actually, that's why in Aceh, what they did in Aceh was build 8 evacuation centers that were high up in the mountain, and they were, I think, 5 stories high. Alam mo yun? Yun ang
Yes.
itinayo nila.
Yes, we should follow the same example
Hindi
now.
school. Kumbaga, hindi
A
school.
real evacuation center.
Oo.
The same thing we have in the United States. Meron kaming evacuation route na talagang designated by the federal mandate. Tapos
may
yung
ganun.
mga evacuation center identified ng both federal and state.
Oo.
At saka yung evacuation,
ruta talaga?
may ruta
May
talaga, and
evacuation route?
they develop the road system specifically para sa evacuation.
Okay.
And then, and the same token, may mga regional stockpiling. Tapos meron kami mga DMAT, yun mga medical assistant, yung mga first responder team na would respond sa medical needs. Kasi maraming tinatamaan ng mga debris, they are able to respond first. Tapos meron kami...
Because it's not just money and equipment,
No,
like things you've mentioned. Regional stockpiling is planning.
Yes.
That's not necessarily
Yeah.
more expensive. It's
Yes.
just planning ahead.
Yeah.
That's one. And then an evacuation route will not cost money.
Yes.
But it's also planning.
Yes.
Diba?
Planning, advanced planning, and then geared towards disaster prevention, yung mga ano. Kaya I would recommend na we follow certain feasible steps na ginagawa sa Florida, and we could implement it here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, in the U.S., you have emergency managers who are salaried by the government.
Yes.
At in the Philippines, a lot of them are volunteers.
Yes, they could write grants o mga yung mga emergency managers, they train 24/7, pumupunta sa mga conferences, they know the stockpiling, they know yung mga inventory nila kaya very prepared sila, alam nila yung mga evacuation route, alam nila kung nasaan yung mga nandun na yung mga evacuation route na stable. And then mandatory pag certain area pupunta ang National Guard doon, kailangan mag-evacuate kayo. Kasi pag hindi nag-evacuate, doon nagkakaroon ng fatalities.
What did you do in Florida that you recommend we do in the Philippines?
We need to develop a better evacuation route, better evacuation center.
And build. Actually, I agree
yes,
with you. Build evacuation centers.
And invest money in building evacuation center.
Kasi building lang yun naman. You don't have to furnish it, nothing.
Yeah.
It's not supposed to cost billions.
Yeah. At saka nandun na rin andun na rin ang mga pagkain. Yun sa regional stockpile, andun na yung mga kailangan ng tao. Meron kaming tinatawag na MREs, meal ready to eat.
Ano yun?
Meal ready to eat.
Yeah.
We could develop that MREs for disaster kasi ano na yun ang shelf life noon is about 10 years. So you could stockpile, you could stockpile them, and then pag may dumating na bagyo, pwedeng gamitin instead na noodles and carne norte na you still have to cook. And then we have bottled waters na for safe water supply. And then we have tinatawag na emergency kit, yung mga medical kit. At saka mayroon mga instructions na basic medicines kasi ang kailangan ng mga ano dyan, pag nag-evacuate, nakakalimutan nila yung mga gamot nila, may isang maliit na parang pharmacy kit na basic sa diabetes, hypertension, and everything. Mabibigay namin doon sa mga tao.
And diarrhea.
Diarrhea,
maraming namamatay sa diarrhea.
May mga IV fluids doon para ma-hydrate yung mga dehydrate.
I have a question.
Yes.
Since you are also a doctor,
yes.
Is it safe when you're an evacuation center, without me naming a brand, to take these yung mga diarrhea pills? You know what I mean? Para kasi you get dehydrated, pag banyo ka ng banyo, of course, na ka na ng bacteria. But let's say, okay, walang IV fluid. You take water and the pill.
Yes.
Is that safe?
Self-medication, for symptoms, it's okay. Pero kasi kulang ng medical resources
Oo.
Pero kailangan talaga ma-identify yung cause ng diarrhea para ma-isolate yun kasi baka ma-infect niya yung mga ibang tao doon sa regional center. Kaya may mga isolation unit doon na kasama.
Okay.
Kasama sa planning yun.
Sa planning, isolation units, no? You had this in Florida.
Yeah, kasi mas na tao na sa isang maliit na area, mabilis mag-breed ng infectious diseases. Kaya kaya nagkakasakit yung mga tao doon. Kaya kailangan hiwalay ka agad, i-isolate.
Okay. All right. So you said number 3 is implement disaster preparedness exercises.
Yes.
So this is think disaster preparedness every day, every minute.
No. We have disaster tabletop exercises.
What's a tabletop
exercise?
Tabletop,
we give scenarios. O kaya tumama yung bagyo dito, anong gagawin ng itong mga agency na to? Kasi ang problema dito sa Pilipinas, nag-overlap ang mga responsibility. What you need to streamline them to make them more effective.
So how would you do it?
Meron pa nga lang emergency manager, you designate certain responsibility.
Paano the mayor is in charge
It should be a professionalized. Kaya nga, yung professionalized...
Wait, that's gonna be controversial.
Yeah, professionalized.
Kasi in the Philippines, it's the mayor.
No, it should be somebody who's an expert, not a political appointee. who knows something
No,
about
not a
disaster.
political appointee. He won.
Oh, he won. Hindi ko alam.
Yeah.
Pero what we need
How
is
would you
somebody...
do it? Like in Florida, was the mayor in charge?
No, the politics in charge, they appoint an expert na emergency manager sa county namin. He's a disaster planner, a disaster expert, may medical background, and then ano yun, na-attend sila ng courses. They're salaried and they respond to the state and then to the federal. Kaya may parang yung conductor ng orchestra, synchronize lahat.
Oo.
Hindi kumukha dito, kalat-kalat dito.
Okay, that's quite interesting. I think for the mayor to hire an emergency manager. Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
All right, so number 4 is, we've talked about it. You set up an evacuation plan.
Yes.
Okay, you release it on TV, it's happening.
Yes.
5, you educate the people so they can protect themselves.
Yes,
Are we doing
education.
that?
We need to educate them. Tapos yung mga emergency planner, kailangan maturuan ng basic CPR, how to do basic life support.
Okay. This is interesting because you talked about this a while ago. Create disaster stockpiles.
Yes.
But keep it a secret.
Yes, it's secret sa Florida. Ang
Good
nakakalam
luck
lang
in the
yung mga
Philippines.
manager. And kung ano yung, you have to provide security.
Why is it secret?
Because we have bioterrorism pills there na masabotage. Kasi ang sa amin, ang stockpiling is not only for flood, it's for everything, for bioterrorism, for flood, for hurricanes. Kaya dito, yung disaster guru, kailangan mag-respond sa lahat, not only flood, but also earthquake.
Can you train, I'm curious, can you train emergency managers in the Philippines?
We could train them. We have courses. We could,
you have the courses.
Yes,
That's
I
great.
attended all the courses.
Yeah.
I could
Has
give,
the president met you?
Yes, I shook hands with him when he gave me the award.
Is he hiring you?
No,
He
I don't
should.
know.
I think Malacanang should hire you to train. So you're not yet training anyone in
No,
the
but
Philippines?
I train in Florida. I'm part of the DMAT team and also the Medical Reserve Corps, so I do training for disaster preparedness.
Because if an NGO gets you, it's different. What you want is government, no?
It doesn't matter. Whoever could do the work, help the Philippines.
Okay. Number 7 is drop and distribute MREs.
Yes.
Okay, drop and distribute.
Yes.
So you drop it?
By helicopters. That's what we give yung mga MREs because ang shelf life matagal. Ready to eat meals.
Pero paano ang Pilipino ang hilig sa noodles?
Nowadays temporary, temporary. And maybe we could develop MRE na adobo flavor o tinola flavor.
Pero kailangan ng water.
Water, kailangan ng water.
Okay, number 8, deploy DMAT and activate K9 units. Explain DMAT.
We have K9 units na to search and rescue na yun sa mga bodies. And yung mga K9 unit trained dyan sa disaster planning. So you could identify, ma-isolate mo yung mga dead bodies. Okay,
because in Typhoon Yolanda in Tacloban, you noticed that the bodies were there for days.
That's why
on the street.
Yes, and it breeds diseases.
Yeah.
Kaya we need to have a burial response team. Meron silang body bags, naka-gown sila and everything, and then they collect the dead bodies and dispose them properly. Yun
lang ang purpose nila?
Purpose nila either to put them sa mga portable na freezer as yung parang portable na to freeze them, or they dispose the body, incinerate them, whatever. Kaya merong mga response.
I have a question.
Yes.
In the U.S., when you see a dead body, it's there for days. Do you burn them?
They don't last for days. They identify them and dispose them properly. Mabilis dun sa US. Mabilis.
But you said incinerate. You recommend incineration.
Pag walang, that's the cheapest way na
pag wala, in how many days?
In how many days?
Kasi sa Pilipinas, it takes a while.
Well, at saka doon meron kaming mga tinatawag na DNA kit. So we identify, kasi pag yung dead bodies, you cannot identify them.
Okay. All right. I just want to get this one. Do we get this? Vigan is now one of the 7 wonder cities of the world. Brian Rialgo is on the line for this. Brian.
Yes, Karen, the atmosphere here now in Vigan is very festive. Ilocanos are excited and happy with Vigan's inclusion in the new 7 wonder cities of the world. Since last night, city employees and Santiagueños gathered in front of the city hall to wait for the announcement. As they are waiting for the results, some are dancing and singing. Few minutes before the announcement, all became serious, and when they knew the results, all were shouting the city's battle cry, "Viva Vigan," followed by fireworks display. Mayor Eva Marie Medina thanked all the Filipinos around the world who supported the city in this campaign, especially that this fight is a great challenge for Vigan because in terms of population, land area, and income, Vigan is the smallest among the 14 finalists. She said Vigan's inclusion in the list will help this fourth-class city to become more progressive. The tourism office is already expecting a 300% increase in tourist arrivals starting January. That's why Governor Riley Singh-Sot will seek help from DOTC and the national government for funding in the rehabilitation of Vigan Airport, easy access to the city. On age, in the celebration, Vigan gets the battle of the arts. One of the national officials might visit Vigan to formally lead the inaugural event. Reporting from Vigan City, Brian Rialgo, CBN News.
Vigan, I have to say, Vigan is very beautiful. Going back to our discussion, Dr. Mark Asperelli has been suggesting what we can do in the Philippines so that we are more disaster prepared. Now, you deploy disaster medical assistance team. We were there. Number 9 is delegate and separate roles and responsibilities. Yes. You talked about overlapping.
Oh, sa United States, meron yung emergency manager. He's like a conductor of an orchestra.
Yeah.
So you designate certain roles and responsibility kasi ginagamit namin yun sa tabletop exercises.
Yeah.
The reason why you do the tabletop exercises para there's no overlapping of duties. So it's just like rehearsing in a symphony. Tapos yung each player, they play the tune. Kaya pag nagkaroon ng disaster, trained na kayo, pag nag-deploy kayo, yun ang responsibility na identified. Hindi ka mukha pare-pareho ka nagbibigay ng pagkain. So there's too much overlapping. So you need to structure yung pag-deploy na sa tabletop exercises, delegate responsibility to be able to help out maraming tao, tsaka to be able to do it effectively.
Okay. The last is you set up housing and trauma support. You said in the U.S., the temporary housing is set up within 3 to 5 days. In Typhoon Yolanda, the bunk houses took months.
Yeah, we have what we call portable housing na ginagawa, yung tinatawag na PIMA houses.
Pero hindi to tent?
Hindi tent, talagang housing na real house.
Okay.
Na dinideliver nila sa sites and then yung mga nasiraan ng mga houses, doon sila nag-stay.
Ba't di na lang yun sa atin? Magkano ba isa nun?
Hindi ko alam eh.
Pero kung inaano lang yun, then it means it's...
Yeah.
Anong tawag doon?
Yung mga tents dito na...
No, here the tents you saw a lot from the UN.
Yeah, UN. Pero to mga houses talaga, na tinitira nila up to 2 years. Bago sila makalipat
Pero
ng bahay.
Pero in 3 to 5 days natatayo na?
Na mga malalaking truck na nadi-deliver. Ang tinatawag namin doon FEMA villages. I was able to set up, fortunately, a clinic doon sa area namin.
Why don't you take that to the Philippines? These FEMA villages.
Oo.
Kasi dito talagang tinatayo pa yung bunk houses.
At saka meron kaming mabibilis
So
na portable tent na para sa emergency surgery o emergency clinic. Now you could yung mga portable clinic na natatayo within 3 to 5 days.
Now, if you were going to give a financial, let's say, a budget on what the Philippines would need to set this all up, how much would it be?
I don't have any...
But dapat including FEMA, including na the tent, the portable medical tents, lahat yun.
Lahat yun is in the budget. Both the county, state, and federal may mga budget sila. Tapos ang ginagawa dun sa tabletop exercises, nagsasama-sama sila para walang overlapping ng duties.
Okay. Last words, Dr. Asperelli. Last words.
Last words, it's a fact of life na ang Pilipinas is disaster prone. Wala tayong magagawa. Geographically, nandun tayo sa path ng storm, sa big incubator which is the Pacific Ocean.
Okay.
At saka ang problema natin, hindi natin mababago yung mga 60% ng mga bahay na nasa coastal area.
Yeah.
Ang kailangan natin gawin, mag-establish tayo ng kamukha ngayon ng evacuation route. Malaking success yung ginawang evacuation ngayon, kaya there was little na nasalanta compared sa Tacloban. Kung meron tayong better emergency system na magagawa every time, minimize natin ang mga namamatay.
Okay.
Kasi mas tataas pa ang population natin, maybe sa bagong zoning, kailangan mamili na maging restrictive sila dun sa zoning rules, dun sa malalapit sa dagat. Kailangan sa matataas na area na ilagay. Tapos pangalawa, mag-develop tayo ng zonal evacuation center hindi lang simbahan, kundi talagang evacuation center designed for disaster. Doon sila pupunta every time. Pwedeng gamitin, pag hindi man nagagamit, pwedeng multipurpose center, pero kailangan construction design to withstand hurricane standards.
Okay.
Tapos kailangan natin regional stockpiling kasi hiwa-hiwalay na ano tayo na isla. Kailangan natin siguro may isa sa Luzon, Visaya, Mindanao. And then para hindi na i-deliver doon, nandun na mismo sa tatamaan ng bagyo, malapit na. Tapos kailangan natin mag-develop ng mga system na madidistribute to na effectively yung mga MRE, yung mga medical ready meals na tumatagal ang shelf life ng mga 10 years. Pwede natin i-stockpile yun. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you're staying in the Philippines for how long?
No, I'm flying in 2 days. I was only here for the awarding ceremony.
Okay. Well, I hope you come back and train everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Congratulations to
Thank
you.
you. Thank
Let's get started today. I'm Karen Davila, so please stay informed. Stay on ANC. We are on alert for Typhoon Ruby. Have a good day, everyone.